Hey there, I'm Evangeline right here at eTrailer. Today we have the RockyMounts Gigawatt. This is going to be a heavy-duty electric bike rack, includes a ramp, and is designed to be used with your RVs and motorhomes. So today we're seeing how the Gigawatt fits on our 2023 Fleetwood Discovery LXE Motorhome. Now, right off the bat, this is going to be a good fit as long as you pay attention to both the RV bolt that is included with this rack, as well as some dimensions on your bike. When pairing this rack with this motorhome, you do have to be mindful of the handlebars on your bike because any rack is going to get pretty close to the back of the motorhome. So in fact, our handlebars are touching right there. What I would recommend doing is maybe putting a rag or a pool noodle, and that way that would minimize the scuffing that may occur on your motorhome. The second thing is to measure your handlebars. Our handlebars are 27 inches long. If your handlebars are shorter, then it's going to be fine. Or you could put your bike with the longer handlebars out towards the end and then the shorter handlebars out towards the inside by the motorhome. So those are things that could help you out. Another thing is that if you have fenders or no fenders or whatever type of bike you do have, this is compatible with it. Our electric bike here does have fenders, and our RockyMounts Gigawatt is fender capable. On the Fleetwood Discovery side, when you have a motorhome or an RV or trailer and you want to use a bike rack, since there's going to be a lot more movement behind the back of the motorhome, you need to make sure that your bike rack is also RV rated, which this one is. However, because the distance from the rack to the rear axle is about 128 inches, you do have a 50-pound weight capacity per bike. So double check your bike's weight. Make sure if your battery is removable to go ahead and remove that, and make sure each bike is no heavier than 50 pounds. And to use it on your motorhome, go ahead and install the RV bolt that comes with this bike rack. It's going to be the bright orange bolt, and that will give you the extra stability on the rack as you drive around. Installing that bolt will prevent tilting the bike rack away or folding up for the compact position, but on our Fleetwood Discovery motorhome, we don't really need those features anyways because we don't really need any access to the back of the motorhome. What it also arrives with is this ramp. Now this ramp is not attached to the bike rack, so you are going to have to store this probably in this rear basement area. Just don't forget it before you drive away. This is very useful for attaching onto the bike rack and makes it a lot easier to ramp your bikes up and down. To remove the bike, I recommend starting at the rear strap. You press that lever, lift the strap up and then out of the way. This strap is adjustable for different wheelbases of bikes. What I do is actually bring this all the way out to the end, so our strap is less likely to get caught up in our spokes. Up front, we are utilizing our fender strap since our bike has fenders. So the first fender strap is going to be up here by the hook. It's just going to be a rubber strap. Take that up and then out, and then the bottom one is going to be around our wheel loop. So take that up and out as well. And then from here, we're able to disengage our bike. So I'm going to hold on to the bike with one hand as I hold on to this blue lever with the other one, press that lever and lift up on that hook. We have it cinched down really tight here, but now once that is up and off, I can just drop the hook and ramp the bike down. It's worth mentioning that even though our hitch on our motorhome isn't that high up, where I don't have to lift as high up, this is still super helpful. I have a really stable and secure ramp here. If I was maxing out at the 50 pounds for the bike, that would be very helpful for making sure it's an easy process to get the bike up onto the rack and then back down. Now at this point, you can either go for your bike ride, but here I'm going to put the bike away so that we can talk about some of the other features here on this rack. Going for measurements here, we talked about the distance from the rack to the rear axle, which is honestly the most important thing, so you know exactly how much weight you're rated to carry. But the next one is how much length does it add to the back of the motorhome. So from our bumper to the end of the rack, that's going to be 32 inches. Now this number is important because then you know how far this is going to stick out, but this is also a really good way to see this on the back of your hitch receiver. When we talk about ground clearance on the motorhome, it's not as accurate just because once you get this motorhome started and the air starts filling up and the motorhome starts leveling out to your driving height, this does sit a little bit higher than it does now. But you can see there is a decent rise from our shank, which you can notice is actually locked, so there is a security feature there. So from the shank to the bike rack trays, there is some height there. So you know that if you're going over speed bumps or you're going over potholes, you're not bottoming out, whether you are at, let's say, parked height or driving height. I really like RockyMounts and their products. I think they offer some solid products. They've got some good sturdy construction and they look pretty good. The Gigawatt is no exception. In fact, I think this is going to be one of their burliest and feature-rich bike racks, especially with the ramp. So 50 pounds, while it is lower than the usual weight capacity that you'll find when you use this on an SUV, is still really good when used with a large motorhome like this. Having those extra things like the RV bolt and a sturdy ramp are all good for making that experience of carrying around heavy electric bikes on the back of your motorhome a better experience. So if there's anything that I would recommend taking a look at, it would be things like if you do have some issues with, let's say, your handlebar lengths and you just can't do anything about it, you may want to look into moving your bikes around or taking some of the tips and tricks that I said earlier in this video to make sure that your bikes have the best fit. But today, for a pretty good fit on this motorhome, this was a look at the RockyMounts Gigawatt electric bike rack with a ramp on our 2023 Fleetwood Discovery LXE Motorhome. My name is Evangeline and I hope you enjoyed this journey.